Hi, I'm Chef Alan Tetreault with Global Sugar Art, and this is Cookie Time at Global Sugar Art. You may know us for cakes and all the cake supplies we sell, but Global Sugar Art also carries a complete line of cookie cutters and sprinkles and toppings and icings that you can use for cookie making. And today we're going to make some Christmas cookies. We carry a complete line of cookie cutters for all different occasions, not just for Christmas. These are beautiful American-made, nice aluminum cookie cutters that are nice and thick, so if you want to do a thick cookie or thin cookie, it's never going to get stuck inside the cutter. These are a really high-quality cookie cutter that you'll use year in and year out, and you'll really enjoy using them. We also have food colorings, flavorings, and all different sorts of sprinkles and confettis that you can use on the cookies. I'll be right back and we'll make some Christmas cookies. Okay, we're back and I'm going to make some Christmas cookies, but first I want to talk to you about the icing that we're using. This is a homemade recipe that was gratefully shared with me by Angelia, our lead cake decorator here at Global Sugar Art. And this is a great recipe. As you can see, it leaves a beautiful shine on the cookies. It dries. Once these have dried overnight, you can stack them in a box or a tin to give away as a gift, and it holds up beautifully. We'll have this recipe posted on Global Sugar Art, and if you go at the top of the YouTube, you'll see a link to our recipe page for this recipe. So basically, it's 2 cups of confectioner's sugar, 4 teaspoons of whole milk, and 4 teaspoons of light corn syrup, and that would be like Caro brand corn syrup here in the United States. And then you can flavor it, and we prefer to use about 1 teaspoon of clear almond extract and about a teaspoon or a teaspoon and a half of the Allen's Bridal Blend. And this will leave you a nice white icing. If you don't have the Bridal Blend and you choose to use vanilla, use a clear vanilla so that it doesn't tint your icing sort of an ivory color. You'll get a nice pure white icing. Once that's mixed, just put it into decorating bags with a tube 3 or 4 tip, and you're ready to start. So we've already cut some Christmas cookies. I have a stocking and a tree here, and I'm going to begin with the tree. And this is regular royal icing. Again, we have these recipes at globalsugarart.com, and you can even buy a package mix where you just add water and mix it. So the first thing you're going to do is outline. You get a paper towel. I like to keep a paper towel handy so you can keep the end of the tip clean. You're going to begin by outlining the cookie. And this is a number 3 Wilton or a Tico tip. Remember when you're outlining, if you watch how I do this, I'm actually lifting the icing so that it's straight. When I reach a turning point, I anchor it, and then I lift and go back and forth like that. And that way you get nice straight lines. Once I've outlined that, I can take some of the cookie icing, and this is a number 4 or a number 5 tip. Actually, this is a number 6 tip. So I would use a 5 or a 6. And then just fill that in. You don't have to press very hard. Go all around the edge. What the royal icing edge is doing is it's preventing this from flowing down the side of the cookie. And then just go back and forth and fill this in. You can always add more afterwards, so you don't have to put it too thick. What I like to do now is just let it sit for a few seconds, and it'll start spreading out. And then take a toothpick, and you can just sort of push it into the corners, and if you see an open spot, just sort of drag the icing over that. There. And in another minute or so, that will all have flowed together. Now, in order to finish the tree, I'm actually going to let it dry a little bit. I started one earlier, and I'm just letting this dry on the side. So now to do the star at the top, Get my royal icing, there we go. Let's see, we're just going to outline the star. And we're going to fill the star in. You can see how easy this is to do. Now, if I want a little bit of a sparkle on the top, like on this cookie, you can see how the star at the top is a little sparkly. In order to do that, I'm using a little bit of disco dust or twinkle dust. And you can also use edible glitter. The easiest way to apply this is just use a soft round brush, dip it in, and then just tap the brush. And that will land right where you want it. And you won't be actually brushing that into the icing. That's the easiest way to apply any sort of dust like that. So now you can see we have, the cookie is now ready to finish. We just need to let that green icing dry a little bit, and then we're going to put some little dots of icing, colored icing on there. For the shoe, or the stocking, I guess it's not a shoe, it's a stocking. Let's see. You have to sort of look at the cookie cutter and figure out where the top of the stocking will be and the bottom. And I'm just going to make a little space right there for the top of the stocking, and then I'm just going to follow the edge of this. So this time I didn't have straight lines. So you just touch the icing to the cookie and just lift it off, and then you can move it freely. Don't drag it on the cookie or you won't get nice even lines with the royal icing. And I'm going to fill in the red now. The nice part about these cookies is they keep really well. You can make these several days ahead of time, and once they're dried, you can put them in a plastic container or some sort of a sealed container, and they will really keep for a long time. And the icing will keep its shine too, which is really nice. Okay, I've taken the air bubbles out of that, and now I'm going to outline the top. And I do want an extra white line there, so I'm going to go right up against that. And then I'm going to fill that in. When you're working with this icing, if you find that it's not flowing together, put it back in the bowl and just add a little bit of corn syrup. It's better to start off with a little thicker icing and adjust it to the correct consistency. Because if you start off too thin, it'll sort of just run right off the cookie, or it'll run over your lines. Okay. Now while that's still fresh and moist, I'm going to add a little holly decoration. So these are candy beads by CK Product. We have these on the website. And I'm going to take 3 of the red candy beads and just put them on right together in a little grouping. So then I'm going to use the cookie icing, and I'm going to make a couple of very small green dots. And this is going to flow into the icing because it's still fresh. Then use a toothpick and pull out. So you're going to make like little holly leaves. So you start from the middle of the green and pull out. And that will give you the idea of little holly leaves. And then I have some snowflakes. These are pearlized snowflakes. And the easiest way to attach these is with a tweezer. I'll just put a few of these on. So you get the idea. I don't want to use my fingers to put those on, because if my fingers touch that fresh red icing, it's sort of going to be a mess. It'll pull it out of shape, and it'll be all over the white snowflakes. So that's the finished product. So that's an easy way to do the stockings. And now we're going to finish the trees. Let's get these out of the way. And this is the tree that I did earlier. Now, to put the little ornaments on the trees, we're going to use royal icing. We're not going to use the cookie icing, because I don't want this to run. And this is very easy. Just pipe little dots, just sporadically. And you don't need very many colors, and a few white. Okay, and you can see that the royal icing is not sinking in to the cookie icing, because I allowed that to dry for probably about 5 or 10 minutes. So it's really important that you let that flooded work, the green icing, dry about 5 or 10 minutes before you add the royal icing dots. Otherwise, they'll go right into the royal icing and sort of dissolve. So if you want them to appear above the cake, you do need to let that dry. For the snowflakes, or excuse me, for the snowman, for the little buttons, we use some black draggies that we sell. And let's see if there's anything. Here's a great idea. When you're doing the little Christmas lights, we flooded it in blue, and then just put a dot of white cookie icing while it was still fresh, and then use a toothpick and dragged it down so that it sort of looks like the reflections in a bulb. You also can write on the cookies. You can personalize them to whatever name you want. There's just tons of things that you can do with these. Gingerbread, we use some little confettis, colored confettis that we sell here at Global Sugar Art for the buttons. I hope you've enjoyed this. It's so easy to make Christmas cookies. Follow the recipe that we have online. It's a great icing. It flows beautifully. It tastes phenomenal. And it keeps the cookie nice and fresh. We carry all the products at Global Sugar Art, including the food colorings that we use today. Have a great holiday season, and thanks for watching.